This is a very important number because if one of the months you're not able to save your payment shock amount, you would essentially have to restart the process. Hi, welcome back. In today's episode, we are going to be discussing your payment shock. So what is payment shock? Essentially, payment shock is a way for Naca to determine if you are someone that is responsible enough to pay back your mortgage once you are approved, right? Because they don't check your credit. So we're going to go over some calculations so you can figure out exactly what your payment shock would be. And also, what is the maximum monthly mortgage amount that you would be approved for with Naca. And so I created a few diagrams and examples that you can follow along so you can do your own calculations on the side. So Naca has determined that your monthly mortgage amount cannot exceed 33% of the income of all members on the loan. Well, let's say that your monthly gross income is $3,400 and your spouse's monthly gross income is $4,800. Between the two of you, you have a combined gross monthly income of $8,200. So in order to get your maximum monthly mortgage amount, you would calculate your total monthly gross income by 33%. And that gives us a maximum monthly mortgage amount of $2,706. Once you have figured out your maximum monthly mortgage amount, that kind of gives you an idea of the type of houses that you'd be looking for and like the price range that they would be in. It's really your choice if you want a house with that amount or if you want to do something that's below your means. So when it comes to calculating your payment shock, let's use the same example, right? So I believe the maximum monthly mortgage amount was $2,706. And let's just for easier calculation round it down to $2,700. In this situation, your rent is currently $1,850. You're going to subtract your current rent from the desired monthly mortgage amount. This gives us a required monthly savings of $850. And so this is a very important number because, again, Naca does not consider credit. So even if you have an amazing, stellar credit score, if one of the months before your qualification, you're not able to save your payment shock amount, you would essentially have to restart the process. By the way, if you are finding this video useful, please hit the like button to let me know that I was able to help you in some way. You're also welcome to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more content like this again in the future. Naca does specifically look at the previous 12 months to make sure that you are saving that amount. If one of the months you're not able to save, in a situation like that where it's like a one-off, Naca is very understanding. So for me, for example, that was my situation. Unfortunately, there was one month where I had to take my puppy, Athena, to the emergency vet, and it was like this huge medical bill. So obviously, like that month, I was not able to save. And so because I already had established a history of being able to save my payment shock amount, essentially what my counselor did is she had me write up a letter explaining that, hey, this is a one-time thing. She said, okay, so if in February, if in March, and if in April, you're able to save the amount, then we'll go ahead and submit you to qualification. So your payment shock and your ability to save your payment shock is what's going to determine how quickly you move through the process, right? And so somebody asked a question in the comments in one of the videos. I think they mentioned something about a late utility payment or like a late car insurance payment, I think it was. These are things that can negatively affect the timeline, right? It doesn't mean that you're not eligible for Naca, but if you are late on your payments, it could just extend it a little bit further. If I didn't have that vet bill, the veterinarian bill, I would have been approved on the spot. But because I had this one-time thing, it's like, okay, we'll forgive you, but show us for 3 months that you really can and that this really was like a one-time thing. Alrighty, and then something else that I wanted to address is, let's say you're in a situation where you live with your parents and you don't have to pay rent. In that situation, you would have to save your desired monthly amount for up to a year to prove that when you are accepted for your mortgage, you can pay that monthly mortgage, essentially. And then lastly, something else that I wanted to address is that Naca takes a holistic approach, right? They look at everything. They're not just looking at your savings account and your checking account. No, they're also looking at your credit card bills. And so what that means is that if, let's say you are saving your payment shock every month, but at the same time, your credit card debt is also growing as well, essentially you're not really saving. The period between you getting qualified for Naca all the way until close, it's very important that you are mindful of your spending. Whenever you get to the bank processing stage, the last step, Bank of America is going to go through all of this information again. They're going to comb through your finances all over again, right? So it's not a situation where it's like, oh, I'm qualified, now I'm ready. No, you're not done and like through the process until you get your keys and you settle. So if you are considering NACA, you want to go through this long, lengthy process where there are so many appointments, there are so many follow-ups, so many things to keep track of, I definitely recommend my NACA home purchase roadmap. This is the exact Notion template that I used when I was going through the process, and I was able to get approved, closed, and settled in 6 months. And it only took that long because I bought a new construction house and I literally had to wait for it to be finished being built. So if you are going through the NACA process and you want to get through it as quickly as possible, I definitely recommend this. It's like my second brain with notes and like links and videos and how-tos and calculations and breakdowns, right? I'll leave a link to the template down below. It is $7. And I do want to thank you so much in advance if you do decide to support me and the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye.